Hello and welcome to In Depth. I'm Tina Jha. India has the world's second largest internet user base with around 500 million internet users. However, the country ranked 109th in mobile internet speed and 76th in fixed broadband speed, according to Ookla's Speed Test Global Index in November 2017. The country's average mobile speed was 8.8 Mbps and broadband speed was 18.82 Mbps. Norway, which was ranked first in the world for mobile internet, had an average download speed of 62 Mbps, while Singapore led in the fixed broadband category with 153 Mbps average download speed. So in September 2018, ISRO Chief K. Sivan assured that by the end of 2019, the country will get high internet speed with the launch of 4 heavy-duty communication satellites, which will provide broadband connectivity of over 100 gigabits per second. Since November 2018, ISRO has launched 3 communication satellites to boost internet connectivity and also bridge the digital divide in India, the latest being the GSAT-31. GSAT-31 is the country's 40th communication satellite, which was successfully launched by European launch services provider Arianespace's rocket from French Guiana in the early hours of Wednesday. Today in In-Depth, we talk about the high-power communication satellite GSAT-31. How will it facilitate communication in India and what is its mission like? We'll also talk about the various communication satellites that India has. We also take a look at the big launches planned by ISRO this year. The GSAT-31 satellite that was launched today is a communication satellite. Let's start today's show by telling you what communication satellites essentially are. They are relays allowing information to be passed around the globe via space in a number of ways. The world's first communication satellite was launched in August 1960. It was called Echo-1 and was launched by NASA through the oldest flight technology of ballooning. Capable of relaying signals to other points on Earth, Echo-1 helped lay the foundation of today's satellite communications. India's communication satellite was established in 1983 with the commissioning of InSAT 1B. In this report, let's take a look at the various communication satellites that India has and their capabilities. Communication satellites power our appetite for data, connect people anywhere on Earth with voice, image, video and broadband internet. Currently, there are over 1.4 billion smartphones in use across the globe. That means 1 in every 5 people on the planet has access to mobile data. These communication satellites link ships crossing oceans, provide communications for aircraft, connect people in remote areas not serviced by cellular or fiber optic networks, and enable disaster response teams to keep in touch when ground-level infrastructure has collapsed. That's why these satellites are present in large numbers in the orbit. After the successful launch of GSAT-31, India now has 40 communication satellites. The InSAT and GSAT series of satellites fall under the communication satellites category. The Indian National Satellite or InSAT system is one of the largest domestic communication satellite systems in the Asia-Pacific region. It has 9 operational communication satellites placed in geostationary orbit. It was established in 1983 with the commissioning of InSAT 1B that initiated a major revolution in India's communication sector. With over 200 transponders in the C, extended C and KU bands, the InSAT system provides services to telecommunications, television broadcasting, satellite news gathering, societal applications, weather forecasting, disaster warning, and search and rescue operations. In June 2017, GSAT-17 joined the constellation of InSAT system, consisting of 15 operational satellites, InSAT 3A, 3C, 4A, 4B, 4CR, and GSAT 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 14, 15, 16 and 18. The designed in-orbit operational life of GSAT-17 is about 15 years.
GSAT-31 is kind of having the same configuration as GSAT 4C. Both 4CR and 4C was working in KU band, and it had the same bus configuration I2. And this InSAT GSAT-31 is also going to have the same configuration. There is one big difference between these two. The difference is that the 4C and 4CR, its footprint was only the land mass of India. But whereas here in this GSAT-31, the footprint is going to be larger. So the Arabian Sea, Bay of Bengal and some part of the Indian Ocean, that means that the area surrounding, oceanic area surrounding India can also be reached by this satellite. So which means that you will be able to provide VSAT connectivity to these regions.
In November 2018, ISRO launched the multi-beam, multi-band communication satellite GSAT-29. Weighing 3,423 kilograms, the satellite was put into the Earth's orbit by GSLV-Mk. Designed for a mission life of 10 years, GSAT-29 was stationed at 55 degrees east longitude. It provides communication services to the Northeast region and Jammu and Kashmir and facilitates initiatives under the Digital India program. On December 5, 2018, the country's heaviest communication satellite GSAT-11 was placed in geostationary orbit at a height of about 36,000 kilometers. The 5,854 kilogram GSAT-11 was launched to provide high data rate connectivity in the Indian mainland as well as islands through 32 user beams in KU band and 8 hub beams in KA band. According to the Indian Space Research Organization, GSAT-11 will provide internet access to off-grid remote areas in the country where traditional fixed-line broadband services are not available. It will also help in emergencies and disaster relief, besides providing internet connectivity during air travel in India. ISRO Chairman K. Sivan says, GSAT-11 will play a vital role in providing broadband services across the country. It will boost broadband connectivity to rural and inaccessible Gram Panchayats coming under the BharatNet project, which is a part of the Digital India program. The BharatNet project aims at enhancing public welfare schemes like e-banking, e-health and e-governance.
Any satellite that you put in geosynchronous orbit will have a lifetime. For example, this GSAT-31 is expected to last for about 15 years. So which means that before the lifetime is completed, almost at the end, you should send a replacement satellite if you have to have a continuity in service. So this communication satellite is like, you have to send again and again on a periodic basis to meet your continuity in service and also to meet expanding communication needs.
On 19 December 2018, ISRO launched another geostationary communication satellite, GSAT-7A, from the Satish Dhawan Space Center in Sriharikota. Dubbed the Indian Angry Bird, GSAT-7A along with GSAT-7 and GSAT-6 forms the band of communication satellite for use by the Indian military. The 2,250 kilogram military communication satellite aims to help in connecting all assets of the Indian Air Force and also serve as a force multiplier. Further, it will provide communication capability to users in KU band over the Indian region. The mission life of GSAT-7A is 8 years. India's latest communication satellite is GSAT-31, which was successfully put into orbit on 6 February 2019. The mission will enhance connectivity for ATMs and provide uninterrupted DTH services in the country. With a mission life of 15 years, GSAT-31 is ISRO's 40th communication satellite. The high-power communication satellite with KU band will provide continuity to operational services on some in-orbit satellites. With inputs from Astha Kulshresht, Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. With the launch of GSAT-31, ISRO has carried out its third successful mission of 2019. The communication satellite was launched from French Guiana in the early hours of Wednesday. GSAT-31 is India's 40th communication satellite, which will replace the InSAT satellite, which is nearing the end of its life. GSAT-31 will be used for supporting VSAT networks, television uplinks, digital satellite news gathering, and DTH-television services, among other such applications.
In yet another successful mission, ISRO launched its 40th communication satellite, GSAT-31, to provide continuity to operational services on some of the in-orbit satellites. The satellite was launched from the European spaceport in French Guiana at 2:31 am on Wednesday. 42 minutes after blasting off from Ariane Launch Complex at Kourou, a French territory in the northeastern coast of South America, the Ariane 5 vehicle injected GSAT-31 into the orbit in a flawless flight.
It gives me great pleasure on the successful launch of GSAT-31 spacecraft on board Ariane 5. This is the third mission for ISRO in 2019. Congratulations to Ariane Space on the successful launch and precise injection of the satellite into the orbit. Congratulations to our co-passenger teams for their successful satellite launch.
After separation from Ariane 5's flight VA247, the two solar arrays of GSAT-31 were automatically deployed in quick succession. After this, ISRO's master control facility at Hassan in Karnataka took over the command and control of GSAT-31 and found its health parameters normal. Weighing about 2,536 kilograms, the GSAT-31 is a high-power communication satellite with Ku band. It will provide communication services to the Indian mainland and islands. It will replace dying satellite InSAT 4CR and some other expiring satellites. GSAT-31 has a mission life of 15 years. The satellite derives its heritage from ISRO's earlier InSAT or GSAT satellite series. GSAT-31 is configured on ISRO's enhanced 12K bus, utilizing the maximum bus capabilities of this type. This satellite will augment the Ku band transponder capacity in geostationary orbit,
which is a high-power communication satellite with the Ku band, which is going to serve and replace some of the satellites which are getting expired soon. It is going to serve the country in various aspects like communications to islands and mainland, in terms of business, in terms of DTH, and many more.
GSAT satellite will be a satellite which is a geostationary satellite. So it will be continuously 24/7 looking towards India. So if you look at India's geography, it is not only the mainland India, but you got a vast oceanic region also. You got islands which are in Arabian Sea as well as in Bay of Bengal. So you require a problem-free communication not only over the land but over these islands also.
GSAT-31 will be used for supporting VSAT networks, television uplinks, digital satellite news gathering, DTH-television services, cellular backhaul connectivity and many such applications. It will also provide a wide beam coverage to facilitate communication over large oceanic region comprising large parts of Arabian Sea, Bay of Bengal and Indian Ocean using a wide band transponder.
The crux of any communication satellite is the transponders, because these transponders help you to get a DTH as well as a VSAT services. So these are the two key features of this. At the same time, digital news services also would be covered under these things. And there is a backend which will be given to your mobile communication or a cellular communication by these satellites. So it will be essentially taking care of various communication requirements. And one should not see this satellite in isolation, but India has got a wider network of almost 15 to 16 communication satellites. So it will fit into the entire bandwidth of a communication satellites.
In the days ahead, scientists will undertake phase-wise orbit-raising maneuvers to place the satellite in geostationary orbit, which is 36,000 kilometers above the equator, using its onboard propulsion system. This was European launch service provider Ariane Space's first successful launch of the year and the 23rd successful launch of an Indian satellite by an Ariane vehicle. Just last year, on December 5th, Ariane Space launched India's heaviest satellite, GSAT-11, weighing 5,854 kilograms. Ariane Space will also launch GSAT-30 in June.
Partnership between ISRO and Ariane Space is more than 50 years old. We started our relationship by launching our Apple in the Ariane 1 sometime in 1981. Since then, the relationship and bonding is growing very strongly with mutual understanding and trust.
The Ariane 5 vehicle also carried Saudi geostationary satellite 1 Helios Sat-4, a countersat of King Abdulaziz City for Science and Technology, Saudi Arabia, and Helios Sat, Greece, Cyprus. The satellite will provide telecommunication capabilities, including television, internet, telephone, and secure communications in the Middle East, South Africa, and Europe. With inputs from Astha Kulshresht, Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
For the year 2019, the Indian Space Research Organisation has planned 32 missions, including the most complex Chandrayaan-2, out of which 2 have already been successfully launched. Now, Chandrayaan-2 will also be launched this year, while the most awaited Gaganyaan mission will be launched in 2022.
To boost innovation and creativity and galvanize high-tech aerospace industry, ISRO has lined up many plans in the near future. It plans to send 2 unmanned missions to space in December 2020 and in July 2021.
Recently, India has succeeded with its GSLV program, and now India is in a position to launch its own communication satellites in near future. So I am sure right now the dependence which is there on French Guiana on a French rocket will start reducing slowly. One more satellite will be launched by India, that is GSAT 30, either in June or July. Again, it will be launched by Ariane 5 vehicle only. I think subsequently India will start launching its satellite on its own, and that will save good amount of money.
India's second lunar mission will land a rover on the moon. Till now, only the US, Russia and China have been able to soft land spacecraft on the moon's surface. Under this lunar mission, ISRO will for the first time attempt to land a rover on the moon's south pole. The complex mission will comprise of an orbiter, lander and rover. The Chandrayaan-2 spacecraft will be launched by GSLV-Mk. The mission will encourage new experiments by the use and testing of new technologies. Chandrayaan-2 mission, costing nearly 800 crore rupees, is an advanced version of the previous Chandrayaan-1 mission that was launched about 10 years ago. India's maiden human spaceflight program Gaganyaan's activities would also go full steam to accomplish the various development and qualification milestones during this year. ISRO is preparing to send an astronaut into space in the year 2022 on board the Gaganyaan. Gaganyaan is an Indian crewed orbital spacecraft intended to be the basis of the Indian human spaceflight program. The spacecraft is being designed to carry 2 to 3 people. Gaganyaan will be launched on ISRO's biggest rocket, the GSLV-Mk from Sriharikota.
If you have seen over the years, India has started launching satellites for other countries, particularly the satellites into the category of a small satellites or a micro satellites. So till date, India has launched I think 269 satellites for various other countries. Almost 33 countries India has launched the satellites for. So it is giving India a very major advantage globally. Particularly the ISRO success story with our Chandrayaan and Mars mission has raised the image of India also. So it is giving a lot amount of a soft power benefits also for India by using satellite technologies.
ISRO is also aiming to reinstate its microwave remote sensing capability through the radar image satellite series and attain operational geo-imaging capability through the GSAT or the geo-imaging satellite series. It is also planned to progressively improve the payload capability of GSLV and its variants. The country would meet the high output bandwidth requirement of Digital India and also in-flight connectivity with the launch of GSAT 20. On the application side, crop production estimation would be enhanced to cover 10 additional crops and also provide vital inputs for water and energy security. With inputs from Anu Diwan, Bureau Report for Rajya Sabha TV.
It was on 21st November 1963 that a small rocket took off from Tumba on the outskirts of Thiruvananthapuram, announcing the birth of the modern space age in India. Since then, India has crossed several milestones with its space program. We leave you with this report telling you all about India's space program over the years. Thanks very much for your time.
Space exploration in India began in the 1960s. Dr. Vikram Sarabhai was a physicist and industrialist who initiated space research and helped develop nuclear power in India. He is also popularly known as the father of India's space program. Sarabhai was instrumental in establishing the Physical Research Laboratory in Ahmedabad after returning from Cambridge in 1947. India launched its first sounding rocket from Tumba near Thiruvananthapuram in Kerala on 21st November 1963, marking the beginning of the Indian space program. It was in 1962 that the Indian National Committee for Space Research was set up. It laid the foundation of Indian Space Research Organisation in 1969. After setting up ISRO, the government constituted the Space Commission. It established the Department of Space in June 1972 and brought ISRO under the Department of Space in September 1972. India launched its first satellite Aryabhatta in 1975 and then in 1979 Bhaskara 1 was launched. Aryabhatta weighed 360 kilograms. On 10th August 1979, ISRO launched a series of satellites and named the mission Rohini. The Rohini series had 4 satellites, all launched by the Satellite Launch Vehicle, and 3 that made it successfully to orbit. The series were mostly experimental satellites. The Ariane Passenger Payload Experiment, or APPLE, was ISRO's first indigenous experimental communication satellite. It was launched on June 19, 1981. ISRO took a huge step by developing telecommunications satellite. The Indian National Satellite or InSAT system is one of the largest domestic communication satellite systems in the Asia-Pacific region, with 9 operational communication satellites placed in geostationary orbit. It was commissioned in 1983. On 30th August 1983, the InSAT 1B satellite was launched. Its full operational capability was achieved in October 1983. Rakesh Sharma made history by becoming the first and only Indian to travel to space in a Soviet rocket that was launched on April 2, 1984. Then, on 17 March 1988, ISRO launched its first remote sensing mission, IRS-1A. It was a part operational, part experimental mission to develop Indian expertise in satellite imagery. The first multi-purpose satellite, InSAT-2A, built by India, was successfully operationalized in August 1992. InSAT-2A-B of the InSAT-2 series of satellites was launched on July 23, 1993. These are all multi-purpose satellites for telecommunication. On September 29, 1997, ISRO launched its first fully operational satellite aboard a locally developed rocket. India's Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle, or PSLV, slid into orbit, an Earth imaging satellite, after a textbook liftoff from Sriharikota Island. Kalpana 1 was the first dedicated meteorological satellite launched by ISRO using PSLV on September 12, 2002. Then ISRO launched the GSAT-3, also known as EduSat, a communications satellite, on 20th September 2004. EduSat is the first Indian satellite built exclusively to serve the educational sector. On December 22, 2005, ISRO successfully launched InSAT-4A from the European Ariane 5G launch vehicle of Arianespace. With 12 high-power Ku-band transponders, InSAT-4A was the first satellite to meet the requirement of direct-to-home television services, apart from carrying 12 C-band transponders to augment the InSAT capacity for communication and TV services. And with the successful launch of Chandrayaan-1 on October 22, 2008, ISRO's historic moon mission began. It was sent in space through PSLV-C11. ISRO had another major success on July 1, 2013, when it launched the IRNSS-1A navigation satellite. Along with this, India has stepped into making its own GPS system on the lines of America. It was on 5th November 2013 when India successfully launched its Mars Orbiter mission, or Mangalyaan, a space probe orbiting Mars since 24 September 2014. The 350-ton Mangalyaan was scheduled to orbit Earth for nearly a month, building up the necessary velocity to break free from our planet's gravitational pull. The total cost of the project was 450 crore rupees, one-sixth of the cost of a Mars probe set to be launched by NASA in 13 days. IRNSS-1I was the 8th navigational satellite to join the IRNSS space segment launched by the ISRO in April 2018. On February 15, 2017, ISRO wrote a new chapter in the history of space research by creating a world record of launching 104 satellites simultaneously through the PSLV-C-37. This was the 38th successful mission of PSLV in a row. The total weight of all the 104 satellites carried on board PSLV-C-37 was 1,378 kgs. PSLV-C-37 blasted off first from the launch pad at the Satish Dhawan Space Center and first injected Cartosat-2 series satellites into orbit, followed by the other 103 nano-satellites, including 96 from the US, in a gap of about 30 minutes. The GSLV-Mk, the heaviest rocket ever made by India and capable of carrying large payloads, was launched from Sriharikota on June 5, 2017. The GSLV-Mk was designed to carry 4-ton class of satellites into the geosynchronous transfer orbit, which is about twice the capability of GSLV-Mk. At the same time, India has made its place in the field of space technology. On June 29, 2017, ISRO launched GSAT-17, the heaviest satellite ever, weighing 3,477 kilograms. On January 12, 2018, ISRO successfully launched 31 satellites in a single flight. The PSLV carried 31 satellites in total from countries including India and 6 others. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.